There we go. My obligatory smiling period to make sure we get a good picture for the social media channels because they take this picture of you kind of like to get like a whatever the hell it's called, an MPEG or something like that, so they can use it to show that you are live. Because we are live for today's episode, today's edition of Le Xander Gibb Show. That be me, and we are just in pre-production mode for said episode, edition, whatever you want to call it, of Le Xander Gibb Show. We got a great show coming up for you tonight. As per usual, we will be sure to come to the live feed and say hello to everybody individually once we've got going. We're just we're setting up feeds and checking it twice. We're gonna find out who's been reported to Vice. Imagine those Democrats getting reported to Vice. Which one, you may ask? Oh, we will tell you very soon. We're just getting the YouTube link, making sure to leave the right page open because I want to play you a clip of something the president said today, which I really concurred with. Come on, Mr. Egg Timer. Because I want to play you a clip of something the president Shut said up, Xander. Today. Right, let's copy video URL. URL. And we're going to share that on at several places. It's a little warm again tonight. When it's always warm in the studio because of the light. It's a case of lights, camera, action. He just went into Long Island mode. I'm going to come and say hello to everybody individually in the live feed in just one moment. If you're in the live feed, if you could do me one little favor, if you could click share, as in share, not share. Do you believe you can share my show? Whoa. We are just sharing. Still sharing on Parler, but not getting a lot of traction from it. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I'm not conservative enough for Parler. What do you think, guys? Are you on Parler? Is it working for you? Is it making a difference? We shared to there. We've shared to there. We're live everywhere. I'm coming to the live feed. Hello, Carla, my early bird. I hope you are good. We will come and say hello to everybody individually. I'm just going to share the show. Share the show. Hi, Chris. Welcome. God, that video is terrible. Maybe it's just my... maybe it's just my... Yeah, it's my computer. It must be because... here we go. Because my battery's dying on my phone as well. Oh no, what am I gonna do? But we will be getting started any minute for today's episode of the Xander Gibb Show. Gina is lost. I will just share to one more thing. And then I'll go and share with Sheena. Sheena of the Jungle. That suits her much better. And then we will get started for today's edition of Le Xander Gibb Show. Good. I am glad you're great, Carla. We are ready to go live for the Xander Gibb Show now. We've shared with with what's her name, Gina. We're going live for the Xander Gibb Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, gone.
It has been good to me this time around. Things were never bound to change when it was found. Sugar never tasted sweeter on my lips. My heart is now intact and I can find no rest. This is love, yeah, love. Never known true love before. Seen so many counterfeits that left me on the floor. This is love, yeah, love. All will come to those who wait. Time it cannot know the bounds, and era don't dictate.
Hello and welcome to today's edition of the Xander Gibb Show, the talk show that really does get you talking on the Xandermonium Network, live from an undisclosed location. No, it's not your mother's basement. Bringing you the best in Patriot broadcasting of 5 nights a week. Oh, yes, sirree. I'm Xander Gibb, and on tonight's edition, I get on my soapbox and I break down and analyze the real news. Tony Lusako drops by to break down today's hottest topics. You can have your say in the live feed below, and as usual, I will be sharing your comments as we go. You can follow me on social media. That was quite fraudulent, whatever the word is. Freudian, I think we're going with. Everywhere but Twitter, because basically Jack is a jackass. And you can find everything else you need to know about me, except my weight. But I will be telling you that very soon. I'm having a weigh-in tomorrow, so we'll know how much I have lost to date. And apparently I'm the only person to have lost weight during lockdown, which seems to have pissed more people off than it has pleased. Let's go to the live feed and say hello to everybody in said live feed. Hello to Carla. Hello to Chris. Hello to my Gina. You're welcome. We always share on the Xander Gibb page. Unlimited shares yesterday. Yeah, I think some days it lets you share, other days it doesn't let you share as much. Hello to my brother Chet. Welcome to the show. Hello to who else is there? Hello to everyone that's watching and listening, but not in the live feed. You are welcome. Chris says you need to wash it down with some beer and cigarettes. I'll take it. Whatever that is. Before I go into the news of the day, I kind of wanted to just play this to you. President Trump made a statement. We're going to be talking later on in the show. President Trump made a statement with regards to the nasty things that Manshell Obama said last night about him. Let's take a quick listen to this before we go into Xander's news of the day.
She was over her head, and frankly, she should have made the speech live, which she didn't do. She taped it, and it was not only taped, it was taped a long time ago because she had the wrong deaths. She didn't even mention the vice presidential
She's a man.
candidate in the speech, and she gets these fawning reviews. If you gave a real review, it wouldn't be so fawning. I thought it was a very divisive speech, extremely divisive. We have a tremendous amount of enthusiasm for my campaign because of things like we're talking about now, drug prices and drug cuts and transparency with hospitals and doctors that are going to lower bills by 50%, 70%.
Yeah.
You're talking about numbers.
Barry never did any of that
that are
stuff.
incredible. And frankly, I wouldn't even be here if it weren't for Barack Obama. See, we're standing in the White House. I wouldn't be in the White House except for Barack Obama because they did a bad job, Biden and Obama. And if they did a good job, I wouldn't be here. I'd be building buildings someplace and having a good time.
You get that, folks? So President Trump said it himself. He would not be where he is today as the president, if it hadn't been for Barack Obama and Joe Biden doing such a terrible job, he'd be off building buildings and enjoying himself. So what does that tell you? How much he loves this country. And if you're watching Big Mike, screw you. We'll be talking more about Big Mike in later on in the show. So now it's time for Xander's news of the day. I just wanted to share that with you because I feel rather empowered by it. So I thought if we play it at the beginning, we can all be empowered together. So more than 5 dozen 911 calls went answered by local police in Portland as authorities worked to control on a riot that broke out overnight on Saturday. Can't talk today. Call types ranged from theft to vandalism to suspicious activity, hazards, hit and run, burglary, and violation of restraining orders, alarms, stolen cars, harassment, and many other things. I'm guessing the social workers were far too busy to be able to attend. This is kind of really, I don't know, it's what we're coming to expect from Portland, let's face it. Oh, Chris is talking about the size of Big Mike's package. We'll talk about that later too. Chet says, because President Trump always said, if this country needs him to run, he would. Absolutely, because why would it's a thankless task. Why would anybody, hi Dave, welcome to the live feed. Why would anybody want to take that on? China is warning the UK government not to host a pro-democracy activist who fled Hong Kong last week. Sonny Chung was expected to be arrested in Hong Kong before he fled to Britain. He's now in the UK where he plans to rally for pro-democracy movement in Hong Kong. Activists in Hong Kong have been rounded up by police as part of a new security law imposed on former British colony by China. Boris Johnson's government offered all Hong Kong citizens a chance to live in Britain. However, China's ambassador to the UK said hosting Chung was tantamount to supporting anti-China forces. Here's the thing for me. I think that the UK could have done a lot more. Hi, Maria. Welcome to the live feed. Could have done a lot more with regards to securing the rights and freedoms of the people in Hong Kong before they left. However, they didn't do that. They're trying to make amends now. They're offering Hong Kongese citizens British citizenship. I'm not sure how I feel about that. They can come and they can live here and they can work and they can pay their taxes. But otherwise, as far as I'm concerned, it's not. I'm not sure it's a good thing. I want to protect them, but I think we have enough freeloaders in the UK before we bring in some more. I'm sure you feel the same in the United States. President Trump said he will pardon Susan B. Anthony, the leader of the women's suffragette movement, who was arrested for violating male-only laws in 1872. The pardon comes 100 years to the day after the 19th Amendment, which ensured women's right to vote was ratified. Good for you, President Trump. I think that it's a good thing to do this, to pardon historical figures, because we need to show that they are supported, because I think some of their families are actually still around. Just reading some bullshit in the live feed, but I'm not even going to dignify it with a comment. Americans have a keen sense for political stunts, and the ACLU's push to dismantle DHS as close as it gets. Now, to be clear, the ACLU sees violence on our streets, and its first instinct is to criticize law enforcement and call for the dismantling of the very institution established to protect the homeland, the American people, and our values. We talked last night about the fact that the police are being asked to police rallies, get rid of the police rallies and anti-police rallies, etc., etc. I would, as a police officer, would not be doing that. If you want to dismantle the police, then you arrange for your own security, motherfucker. If you don't like it, it's tough. President Donald Trump recently took a monumental step towards permanently plugging gaps in the medical supply chain that became evident during the COVID-19 pandemic. The Buy American executive order that he signed will ensure that other nations cannot have the opportunity to deny us life-saving products in a time of need. Absolutely. But one thing, hi Stevie, welcome to the show. One thing that I think that we do need to do in the United States and America is actually start producing our own stuff because we were left in quite a precarious situation by previous administrations where we were reliant on other countries like China to provide us with medicine and medical equipment. The Matrix 4 promises to be one of the biggest events in a post-COVID cinema. However, one of the key original actors will not be returning to the next movie. Lawrence Fishburne, my mate Larry, has revealed to me that no one involved with the next installment in the Matrix series invited him to reprise his role as Morpheus. I have not been invited, he told me, and New York Magazine, of course, as well, via the rep. Maybe that will make me write another play. He says, I wish them well. I hope it's great. He went on to add, it's probably a role that he'll be best remembered for, which is great. It's not the only thing he'll be remembered for, which is better. He said, what I get with him is Darth Vader in one hand, and I've got Obi-Wan in the hand too. I've got Bruce Lee, I've got Muhammad Ali shuffled in there, and I've got Kung Fu, not Kung Flu. One reason for Fishburne not returning to the Matrix 4 may be because the character died of gunshot wounds during the events of the Matrix Online in the multiplayer game that was the Wachowski brothers blessed as a continuation of the story. In the original trilogy, however, fans believe the death was faked, and Lana Wachowski, who will direct the new movie on her own, will not expect general audiences to know the plot of the game that stopped operating in 2009. Come on, folks, how can we have Matrix 4 without Morpheus? We need Morpheus in the Matrix. Maybe we need to start an online campaign. And finally, Sharon Stone has endorsed presumptive Democratic presidential nominee, pedophile, money laundering, pimp, racist, rapist Joe Biden after her sister Kelly, who was immunocompromised, was hospitalized with COVID-19. Basic Instinct star Sharon Stone, 62, urged Americans not to vote for a killer, meaning President Trump, but implores you to vote for the dementing pedophile, money laundering, racist, rapist. Okay then, Sharon. Another one to add to the do not watch list. I'm actually sick of these Hollywood types saying don't vote for President Trump because he's a killer. What did he do? Go and inject these people with COVID-19? He's done his level best in order to make sure that American citizens are safe, and clearly that is not enough. That was Xander's news of the day. If you want to get on your soapbox or come and talk about anything that's pissing you off, maybe it's me. You can go to xandergibb.com/contact. That's xandergibb.com/contact. And you can come and tell us how you feel. I said Morpheus, guys, not morphine. I'm not sharing my drugs with any of you. We've got time for a couple of calls. You can call us from the United States on 845-363-4747. Or if you are calling from the United Kingdom, you can call us on 0208-133-5274. That's 0208-133-5274 if you are calling from the United Kingdom. But if you are calling from God's own land, the United States, you can call us on 845-363-4747. That's 845-363-4747 if you're calling from the United States, Captain. I'm out of breath now. Gina said, sister got back to me last night, said mom was losing her battle with cancer, and said Dave has always been real quiet when something... Oh, Dave Kubik's sister, when something happens. If you do speak to Dave, Gina, or any of his family, please give him our best. He is one of our throng, and we do care about him. We have a caller. Welcome to the show. You are live on the Xander Gibb Show, so keep it clean. What's your name, and where are you calling from, Chet?
Well, I've never even tried morphine, but I'll give anything a shot once.
I have. I definitely have. I have a condition where I get kind of top shelf drugs, so, you know, I'm glad I'm an honest person, because if not, I would be...
I've had morphine. It's not my thing. It makes me, like...
yeah.
It makes me feel like I'm dirty. So
does it make you want to Does it actually? What it did for me, the closest thing I've had to it, I had morphine once, but I had Percocet or something like that when I was in when I was in the United States, and I had shingles, and it felt like you could break your leg and carry on walking, and so I really
It's
don't
terrible.
want.
Yeah, the Percocets are bad.
Ah.
You get addicted to that.
Yeah, yeah. I think they gave me like 20 pills when I had really bad shingles, and they said if you need more, come back. And I'm like, God, is that for one day or like an hour? You know?
Like no, right?
Yeah.
Like hopefully not. Exactly.
Absolutely. So I'm going to talk with Tony later about Big Mike, but I guess we can kind of talk about that too if you want to. But weren't you disgusted at the level of disrespect shown to the Donald by this excuse for a woman?
Does she ever show respect for the country?
No.
You know, here's the thing, and it was pre-recorded, and I love the fact that President Trump went after her and basically said, if you did a good job, I wouldn't be here. I mean, I would want President Trump here anyway.
Yeah, of course.
But, you know, he's making the point that, hey, the reason the American people got away from Washington and got away from your party was because you guys are corrupt.
Yeah.
And you were violating the rights of the American citizen. How many people did they spy on? We don't even know the numbers, Xander.
Right.
Because they were going after Tea Party conservatives and anybody
Yeah.
that was pro-American, and they weren't looking at any terrorist organizations, and we still have holdovers in the FBI that are against us and not our enemies because
Absolutely.
of Barack Hussein Obama.
Absolutely. Hi to Swoop, who's just joined us in the live feed. Hi to Maria. You know, the thing is for me, I was audited by the IRS. I had problems with the IRS, and so did, you know, Dr. Gina. I don't know if you did, but several other people who were,
No, I know you did.
Conservative talk show
because they
hosts.
came after you because of your politics. That's why.
Exactly. And to me, that's disgusting because that means, you know, we're turning into a police state. But how Big Mike has the audacity to talk about what a good job, you know, gay Kenyon Barry did is laughable as far as I'm concerned. He didn't do a good job at all. And, you know, don't write in and tell me I don't like him because he's black. No, I don't like him because he's a commie asshole who was implanted by the Muslim Brotherhood. Period.
He did a good job for the enemies of America, not for America, and that's what he intended to do that. So we got to face the facts that we elected, or not me, or you, or anyone in particular, but the country elected the least qualified black member of the Senate, and that was Barack Obama. He had never even passed a bill through the first step in the Senate. He had nothing behind him, except for the fact that he was a community agitator.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, you see, that's interesting to me. He was a first-term senator, and like you say, he was he called himself a community organizer. So based upon that, you know, with my level of experience as a social worker and my level of experience as a political commentator, when I come back to the United States, I am qualified to run for the presidency. But, you know, I don't want to.
Right.
I mean, I really, you know, I love Donald Trump, as you know, and I don't envy his task, you know, either for the last 4 years or for the next 4 years. But ultimately, to think that anybody wants to do that job because it benefits them, I'm baffled by that, frankly.
Not for President Trump. He
No.
had it made in the shade. He didn't have to take that job. It was an interview with Oprah Winfrey, and she asked him back in it's probably the early 90s. TV was the one that first showed it to me, where she said, would you ever think of running for the highest office in the land? And he said, and everybody can go and look, he said, if I have to, I will. If it gets that bad, I will. And it got that bad, you know. And they just, you know, the Obamas, they are some of they are the low of the low. I don't really know how anybody can still look at them like a good liberal Democrat looks at them and says, oh, they're such great people. Great for what? They hate this country. When are you people going to wake up? When are you going to see the wolves for who they are? Take off all the sheep's clothing, because we're bound to make the mistake again if we have coffers at the DNC and keeping the money flow good for the Obamas. They
Right,
sure
but-
did that very well.
Well, you know the good thing that I think came out of Big Mike's speech last night? I think this guarantees that Barry is going to be appointed as special prosecutor in January of 2021, along with several others. You know, it's been political why he's not been able to do it, because every time he's been in a position to do it, they've played an ace card and said, oh, we're going to impeach you, or Russia, you know, or something like that. There's never really been a right time to do it. And I get really pissed off with conservatives with their own agenda that say, oh, he's not fully built the wall in 4 years. Oh, he's not put Hillary Clinton in jail. You know, and the thing is that... Go ahead.
It's a joke, and usually, Xander, I'm pretty good with real clear politics, and I can stand their stories. But the one I posted up today, it's a big write-up, and it says conservative John Kasich to speak at the DNC.
Please.
And I'm like, are you kidding me? John Kasich is about the most useless, terrible turd in the punch bowl that I've ever seen on our side of the aisle. It's maddening to me that the media tries to bend the truth, and some of these idiots, these Democrats, they go, conservative doesn't like what Trump's done. Like, asshole, he's basically a Democrat. Stop.
Of course. Well, did you see the commentary on Fox and Friends this morning? You know, these idiots saying, oh, yes, Michelle Obama, what a wonderful speech. You can't call those people conservatives. They're conservatives in name only. They're Republicans in name only. Hey, when I was a Democrat, I was more of a Republican than any of these assholes. And I'm tired of these people. Do you know what? It's time to shit or get off the pot. I'm sorry, folks. I'm going to be rude tonight. But you conservatives out there, you need to either shit or get off the pot. You're either with us or you're against us. And if you're against us, get your ass over to the other side, because we don't need you. Because ultimately now we need strong conservatives behind President Trump to make America great again. We don't need you lily-livered assholes. Go! I think it's that simple, don't you?
What it is, Xander? The other part of it is all those weak-wristed. Well, I don't know who's a conservative on Fox and Friends.
No, I don't.
I'm assuming that there are a few.
Yeah.
But a lot of the people on that channel and on a few other sites like Town Hall and the National Review and all those very centrist Republican avenues fear Barack Obama. They do. They fear that if Michelle or somehow, God forbid, Barry gets back in that White House, that he's going to come and he's going to throw him into the the cages where supposedly President Trump puts the kids. People fear the Obamas because they're bullies. They always have been.
Absolutely, and I think the thing is that ultimately, we need now strength, and I'm sick of fence sitters. There are far too many fence sitters that say, I've heard people say, "Oh, I will vote for President Trump, but I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna tell people publicly." And the thing is, for me, I think either vote for him and be honest about it, because that's what we need. That's what we need for a show of strength. We need people to say, I'm voting for President Trump, whether you like it or not. All the liberal bullshit slipping back in again, and people are getting scared. If you're that scared, then you deserve what's coming to you, because if you end up with a liberal state, with a blue state again, and you voted for the Democrats, don't piss and whine about it for the next 4 years, because you've made it happen. Not me, not Chet. You've made it happen by voting for the Democrats again. How can you expect anything different?
And the same idiot, Xander, that created the political landscape in Connecticut and New York and California moved to conservative states, and their politics stayed the same. It's like, no, we don't want you to move. Stay where you are, even though this place sucks and you want to get out of it. Don't leave. Everybody, it's like a mass exodus in New York City. And Cuomo was on the other day saying, I'll cook for you, and we'll order in, we'll have a drink, I'll go buy you a drink. It's like, dude, it's not time to make light, okay? You have destroyed this city, and you and that big giraffe bastard continue to destroy day by day as we see there were some attacks, Black Lives Matter in Brooklyn last night, and they're coming out to Montauk, by the way, Xander. I meant to mention that to you. Black Lives Matter will be on Long Island this weekend. Wonderful.
So I had to restrain myself then because I really wanted to say something NRA related. But I will
Okay.
keep my comments to myself. But here's the thing. I think this is testament to the fact that we're liberalizing again. This all started to slip as far as I'm concerned with George Floyd. What I think needs to happen next week is I think it needs to, the body cam footage needs to be made public so we can all see what this is and actually turn around and say to them, there you go, you got it wrong. He wasn't killed because he was black. He died because he'd overdosed on drugs and then he'd resisted arrest. Because then their argument is muted.
No, Xander, they won't accept it. Nancy Pelosi still gets up there. Chuck Schumer and the rest of the jerks on the Democrat side of the aisle, they still get up there and talk about Mike Brown like he was some gentle giant.
Yeah.
We had video of Mike Brown strong-arming a bodega owner who, by the way, was a very little Oriental man, and walking down the street like he owns the place.
Right.
And then when Officer Wilson responded to the call, we know from several eyewitnesses in Ferguson that Mike Brown was beating the crap out of the police officer and trying to take his gun. And these assholes from the Democrat side keep going up and saying, when they read off the name, Mike Brown, stop. I'm sick of Mike Brown. He deserved to get shot. He was a thug, and he deserved it. I'm sorry.
Well, I certainly think if you resist arrest and you attack the police and you try and take their gun and you end up getting shot, then you've got what you deserve. I'm always very careful, though, Chet, from the perspective, there are a lot of people that have been shot or killed where it could have been avoided. However, I don't think that actually means that the police are always in the wrong. Because the thing is that, I always say this because I think it's important to say, if you've got to make split-second decisions every minute of your working life, you're going to get it wrong from time to time. But we want to throw them in jail. We want to charge them with murder for making a mistake.
Right.
But the ideology behind this? The ideology behind this is so that we deter people from becoming police officers. So we have no policing in the future. This is what the liberals want. No, it's not the liberals. This is what the Democrats want. The Democrats want a policeless society so that they can control it. They want the economy to crash. And this is why we're not just fighting for Donald Trump to be the president for 4 more years. We're fighting for our sheer existence in this situation. That's how serious this is this time, Chet. It really is.
It is that serious this time, Xander, and I'll tell you, it's so serious that we can never allow another Democrat to sit behind that desk in the Oval Office because they are all for the extreme left right now. We see it from Joe Biden saying he's going to bring in, this, what do you call them, the squad, AOC and the two Muslims that hate this country. Can you imagine what they're going to be passing if he gets in there? Oh, my God. And then, after that little boy gets shot, did you see the idiot, the one woman from the squad? I can never think of her name. She's a black woman, and she's now shaved her head. She looks like she's insane.
You mean Ayanna Pressley?
That's it. Yes, Presley, right? That you disgraced Elvis's last name.
Yeah.
She got in front of the
Just what I was thinking.
And said we need to raise hell and civil unrest on the
Yeah.
After a 5-year-old boy was shot,
Yeah.
and after somebody was drug out of their car and is on life support right now.
Right.
And you know what the truth is, Xander? If they keep doing this, if this stuff keeps happening, like a boy getting shot, dragging a guy out of a car, putting him in a coma, what do you think might happen with the prevalent neo-Nazis in this country? They're going to react eventually.
I dread to think, but they're feeding into it. It's happening here. A black politician whose name escapes me recently said, she was stopped by the police because of the color of her skin. So if the police are traveling behind you and you commit a violation or they feel like your car is stolen, They don't see the color of your skin when you're driving your car unless they've actually passed you and circled you, because you certainly can't tell the color of someone's skin from the back of their head. And if I would be the first. I would be the first to speak up about that if I thought that was the case. But stop feeding into it. Stop feeding into this racism bullshit.
Yeah, I know the story you're talking about. And it was actually, they had, I think, cam footage where you couldn't tell who she was. You couldn't tell the color of her skin.
Couldn't tell if it was a man, a woman, whatever.
No, I hate to sound like I just did, Joe. I did. Come on, man. I'm so sick of that. But
come to my basement.
The inner city in Baltimore, Chicago, and elsewhere, they want the police. This is the problem with the mainstream media, Xander. They never show you that side.
Right.
Most of the inner city, most of the minority community can't stand Black Lives Matter, and they know that the organization is full of shit.
Right. Hey, do you know what just dropped into my head? Did you see what Big Mike said about Joe Biden with regards to giving his private phone number to children with a stutter? I mean, as an openly gay male, right? I'm very careful because you never put yourself in a position where anyone can point a finger. I would not be giving my phone number, my private number, to kids that I met, because people could say, oh, he's trying to procure them. No adult should be giving children their phone. It's one thing to say to the parents, if you need any help and advice, you can call me at my field office, or you can contact me. I mean, isn't that odd? What does she know that we don't? You have kids. You know me, but if you didn't know me and I gave my number to your kids, what would you think about that, Chet, as a parent? You'd think, what the?
Well, we would have problems.
Yeah,
there would
exactly.
There would be repercussions for that. That's the truth is that Michelle Obama's just blowing smoke up everybody's rear ends because they know that stuff is all going to come back up in the campaign, and they probably have a pretty good idea of how Donald Trump is going to use that against Biden. And another thing, Xander, I'm sick about hearing that Joe Biden had, the stutter they say that he has?
Yeah.
He doesn't have a stutter. If you look at the old interviews with Joe Biden, even going back as much as during the Obama administration, he never stuttered. What's going on now is he's losing his train of thought because he is out of his mind. That's why, not because he has a stutter.
Exactly. I don't know. I think the thing is, for me, is that they know he's losing, so they're trying to cover every base. A lot of people had stutters when they were kids. All of these things they're doing, they're trying to win certain sections of the community over, like they are with the black community. I mean, imagine giving somebody who's risen to the top by sexual deeds, shall we say, we're being polite here, giving them the VP pick just because they happen to have brown skin. And she's not even African American. They're selling her as an African American. A father is, one of the parents is Indian and one of them is West Indian or something like that. So that doesn't, Sammy Davis Jr. used to say, don't call me an African American because I'm black. He used to say, I'm from Puerto Rico. So that doesn't make me an African American. So they've sold it in this way. Hi to Yaz, welcome to the Life It. It's great to see you. They're selling themselves to the highest bidder. The stutterers, let's get them. I mean, what's next? The next stunt is going to be for the gay community. We love the gays. Didn't Joe Biden say he was against same-sex marriage? What was the first thing President Trump said when he came into office about gay marriage? He said, it's in law. I'm not going to try and take it away. I will do everything I can for the LGBTQ, ABCDFG community.
Same with Hillary.
Yeah.
Same with Hillary. And, they get all upset. They're like, don't use that. Don't say that she was using being an African American to further her political career. And what my response is? We wouldn't if you guys didn't anything around the color of one's skin.
Right.
That's the problem. Not the way we react. The problem is the way you treat other people that may have a darker shade and other
Yeah.
people that may have a lighter shade and some in between. And then you have scumbags like Elizabeth Warren that got to the top by lying
Yeah.
about her bloodline lineage.
But the left relies on identity politics. You know, I've had people email
That's
me even this week and said, "Oh, will you be voting for Joe Biden because he's pro-gay?" Number one, I don't think he's pro-gay, and number two, I don't vote for my presidential candidates based upon how pro-gay or not pro-gay they are. I'm not a single issue supporter. And do you know who is the most pro-gay candidate right now?
Donald Trump.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course he is.
And the gays
Donald
love
Trump's
him.
not anti-gay. Somebody was getting into kind of a tit for tat, and it was one of my friends, and somebody that he knows is a lesbian, and she was, "Oh, the president, I can't vote for him." And I asked her, because I was on the feed too, I said, "Can you just tell me what the president has done to make you feel that he is against you
Right.
and that you may be harmed by his administration?" You know what her response was? "Oh, there's so much. I'd have to, I'd have to write a synopsis in order to answer
Right.
that question." And I'm like, I said, "You don't have an answer because
Right.
he's not."
No, but isn't that funny? They don't have answers about any of these things. But if I said to you, I can't think of someone offhand. If there's a particular actor you don't like and they piss you off, if I said, why, let's say, I can't even think of an actor's name. Let's say,
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
Cruise.
Why does Tom Cruise piss you off? You'd have at least one or two things like, oh, he's ugly, he's not a good actor, he's this, he's that. You'd have a few
He's a
bullet points.
Scientologist.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, 1 point with him is enough, but do you know what I mean? You'd have a few bullet points, if nothing else, but they've never got anything. We need to keep questioning people. I keep questioning people and saying, when they're saying, how can you support Donald Trump? He's homophobic. I'm like, where is he homophobic? This
He's
issue.
not homophobic.
This issue with regards to
question,
this issue with
and then
regards
my other
to
question to them, Xander, whether they're in the gay community or the black community, I said, what are the Democrats doing for you? Not only are the Democrats against you, but they're bringing in people that think you should be thrown off
Right.
rooftops. And you know what that usually gets? Me being called a racist
Yeah.
by the lesbian that won't face the facts that Muslims don't agree in homosexuality, and they kill
Of
you for it.
course, because it's considered haram to them. This big thing about Donald Trump supposedly being against the LGBTQ community. When he made the changes he did with regards to military, there were lots of people. I say lots of people. There were a significant number of people that were joining the military and having sex changes on the nation's bill because they pay for your health care while you're in the forces. And the thing is, at the end of the day, any elective surgery, that's like, I want liposuction. Let me go join the army so they'll give me my lipo. I mean, not that they'd let me in anyway, but do you know what I mean? So that was a loophole,
I
a legitimate
understand.
loophole that he closed up, and I absolutely agreed with it 200%. Does it make him transphobic? Hell no. Why should the nation's dime be spent on giving members of the military sex changes? But that's a different argument from banning people who are trans, because there are people in the army that were born as one sex and actually have the reassignment surgery and do a very good job. So great, good for you. But there are psychological side effects with regards to being a transsexual. And you would be subject to the same testing as everybody else. You can't say, oh, I'm trans, they can't test me. His main issue was about the country footing the bill for your sex change. And why should they?
They shouldn't, and a big part of the issue, and I was listening to a surgeon that was on Michael Savage probably about 2 or 3 years ago, and the surgeon said because at that time there was a lot of hot button, actually it's probably when Obama was still in office, maybe about 5, 6 years, but he had the guest on, and this is somebody that performs these surgeries,
Right.
and also gives the hormones for these women or men, whatever the case may be, to transgend into what the gender that they want.
Yeah.
And the recovery time, Xander, these people would never get on the battlefield.
No.
The recovery time with going and trying to take all these bad additives to try to make you something you're not.
Hormones.
It's like 4 years. That's somebody's.
Right.
That's most military's term is 4 years, so they don't contribute anything, and we foot the bill. Anybody that wants that surgery, why wouldn't they join the military?
Exactly. But can I just say one thing? Because I want to avoid lots of nasty emails for you, all right? And I will make a blanket statement for both of us, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Because we don't care what adults do. If you want to cut off your PP and call yourself Mavis, you can do that, but we just don't want to pay for it. And I'm not, and I don't usually speak for you, but we're time bound, so I just wanted to do that because there are silly people out there that would think they were anti-trans. Very quickly.
In their bedroom unless they're hurting children.
Yeah, of course.
They want to execute you.
Of course. Not that trans people are any more prone to that than anybody else, but I think the terminology we're looking for
and that's not what
here.
I meant.
No,
pedophiles come in every shade and every gender.
I absolutely didn't think you did, my brother, but I think sometimes we need to explain things a little bit more for the stupid people out there. But the thing is that ultimately, you know, I'm at heart, I'm a libertarian, and the key word for me with all of this is consent, and children and animals can't consent, and I wish that the Democrats couldn't either. We gotta leave it there.
I know.
But thank you so much, Chet. It's always great to talk to you, my brother. I'm sure we'll speak to you again.
To you tomorrow.
Absolutely, brother. Thank you so much. The one, the only, the fabulous Mr. Chet Martin from Freedom on Deck. Check them out at freedomondeck.com. God bless you, my brother. Coming up, my next guest is, political commentator Tony Lasacco, who's going to be joining us from the USA. I always need to lie down after the show because I end up feeling so I get so passionate or whatever the word is regarding the topics that I'm talking about. Chris says, I mean, she was nice on the phone. I wonder who that. Oh yeah, he said he thinks Kamala Harris called. Maybe she wanted to do some favors, Chris. Yes, great call, Chet. Always good to talk to you. CV says, right, don't make us pay for anything they do. I think he's talking about trans people who want to transition. Gina says, why? In case you have to vomit sometime. I don't know what that is regarding. I daren't ask. I really daren't ask. We're just waiting for my good friend Tony Lasacco to call so we can discuss some of the finer points of Barack Obama, Mike Obama, Michelle Obama's commentary last night with regards to how come that's a pinned comment? I didn't pin that. With regards to Michelle Obama, I don't know what happened there. There's a thing in the live feed where everything won't go up over it because there's a pinned comment, here we go, unpinned comment. There we go. I don't know how it got pinned. Maybe Zuck is in the room. CV says, yes, after doing a show or an interview, I feel like throwing a TV out of the window. I have a chicken in the oven. I'm going to eat some chicken after the show and chill and just do my post-show promotions. And then from there, I'll be going to bed, going to sleep, to get myself ready to come and do this again tomorrow night, because in the future, I have to tell you guys, we're going to change from doing 5 nights a week because it's really a lot of work. But don't worry, I will not be leaving you orphaned. We will still be doing a few shows every week and some impromptu shows. Also, we are just waiting for Tony to call in, who should be calling us any minute now. Just make sure we haven't missed him or there's nothing. Here we go. This should be him calling us now. The one, the only, the fabulous Mr. Tony Lasacco. Welcome back to the show, Tony. Thank you for joining us. How is the world with you?
Good.
Is it pretty warm where you are?
Yes, warm and allergy-ridden.
Yeah, I hear you. It's like that here, too. I've taken extra pills, which is probably why I'm a little pepped up. right now. Just
Oh no!
for a
Stop
change.
with the Viagra, Xander.
Oh no, I do. Some of us don't need it, honey. All right, let's jump right in before we attract the wrong kind of listeners. I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna jump in and then we can talk about it after. So, Big Mike Obama, the dishonest, disbarred husband of ex-President Kenyan Barack Hussein Obama, hit out President Trump last night, saying he is clearly in over his head. Like a community organizer installed by the Muslim Brotherhood or something different, Mike. He must be voted out of office, Big Mike Obama has said in one of her most unspoken attacks on her husband's successor since the couple left in 2017. Former First Lady, and I use that term very, very loosely, used her keynote address on the opening night of the Democrat? That was very Freudian. The Democrat convention. Mr. Trump regarding his suitability to office. She said, so let me be honest and clear as I possibly can. Donald Trump is the wrong president for our country. He has had more than enough time to prove that he can do the job, but he's clearly in over his head. He cannot meet this moment. He simply cannot be who we need him to be for us. It is what it is. Her address also featured warm praise for Joe Biden, which was interesting given her prior disdain for him. Mrs. Obama has really put out public criticism against the president personally since she welcomed him in the White House during the transition in 2017, usually speaking about policies or staying away from political rows in recent years. However, last night, as well as calling him out by name, she repeatedly, thinly veiled, had swipes at him, portraying him as a man without empathy who is unfit for the moment the country finds itself in. Now, the first thing I want to ask you, and I know you kind of disagreed with some of my commentary, and I'm going to let you feel free to come back at that, but was it appropriate for her to say the things that she said about the president last night, Tony?
Well, first of all, to be honest, the whole thing was so boring, I turned it off and I didn't listen to her. So I don't know exactly what was said or wasn't said. Let me just be upfront about that.
Right.
It was a disaster. It looked like a bad B-grade YouTube, not even like an imitation YouTube video. And I hope they do better tonight. I think she's got a right to be critical of the President of the United States because that's their job at the convention. They're the opposition party. So to say that he's not the right person for the country, yeah, sure. Says.
Right.
As far as your impression of Michelle Obama, though, props, man. It was worth it just to come on tonight to hear that.
She is a little nasal, isn't she?
Impression.
You see, this is the thing. She makes these comments about, when they go low, we go high. And the thing is, to me, if you attack people, then I think you kind of deserve to be attacked. It's my job as a political commentator to point things out about people. But also, I'm a comedian. I was going to say chameleon then. I don't know why. I'm a comedian. So I am going to kind of make jokes about it. But here's the thing that concerns me. There's no way that anybody can say that her commentary was impartial, can they?
Well, no, of course it's not impartial. I mean, it's a democratic liberal commentary. And let me say this up front. I have never liked the Obamas.
Right.
Okay? I always thought, and here's why. At least people think I'm a racist or anything like that, or just because they're Democrats. They always gave off to me, both him and her, even more than him,
right,
an uppity tone, like that they were better than everybody else and that they knew everything. And I think that is probably what you're reacting to, because that's just the way they come across, both him and her both, as we're the best and we know it all and we're superior.
1 second. Just trying to sort it out as we talk. I don't know what to do. Let's try this. Let's try go into, here we go, and then we'll go back to live cam. But no, the cam is still frozen. Let me just check if people can still hear us, because if they can, we can carry on. Oh, I know what it is. The problems of live broadcasting. Here we go. I think I've sorted it out.
Wow. Have you?
I don't know. 1 second. No, the camera is still frozen. Let me just try one more thing. Here. Can you still hear? I don't know what. No, it's frozen. Shucks. Sorry, Tony. I don't know what to suggest. Just
So
1 second.
Are we on the air or are we not on the air? What's going on?
I don't know. I'm trying to find out.
Okay.
If I close, yeah, it's the camera. The camera stopped working for some reason. Hello, Tony?
Yes, I'm right here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't. Yeah, I can't help it if the technology fails. Oh, you can. They can still hear the audio. Let's just carry on.
Okay.
And I don't know what's going on with the camera, but they can still hear the audio. So let's go on to the second topic. I've got no idea what's going on. So Rose McGowan, the actress whose public allegations helped lead to the imprisonment of the super producer Harvey Weinstein, is accused the director Alexander Payne of sexually inappropriate behavior towards her when she was 15 in a series of tweets, which sent the actress alleged that Oscar-winning director of movies such as Sideways and Nebraska played her a pornographic video and implied that he had, at minimum, exposed himself to McGowan. One of the heroes of the Me Too movement followed up with hours later by apparently urging Payne to confirm that her allegation was true and apologize for his alleged misconduct. McGowan, her shocking new claim appears to match up with a 90-minute talk she gave in February 2018 in conversation with journalist Ronan Farrow, which was reported. The conversation was organized to promote her autobiography, Brave. Farrow alluded to a powerful man in Hollywood who sexually abused her. Now, the things do appear to overlap with the public allegations against Payne. Is this just the tip of the iceberg with regards to Hollywood sex allegations, or is she just trying to promote her book?
I'm sorry, what was the question, Xander?
Is this just the tip of the iceberg with regards to Hollywood sex allegations, or is she just trying to promote her book?
Well, I'm not in Hollywood, so I wouldn't know. However, the rumors of Hollywood and sexual performance and allegations and molestation and everything else date way back. Corey Feldman is still making those allegations about how you have to. Basically, there's a lot of rumor that the only way to get parts in Hollywood is
the casting couch.
You know, and there's a bunch of old perverted white men in charge. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm definitely not in Hollywood. I think the Me Too movement, I'll make a statement on that, is ridiculous. I think it's disgusting that we're holding people accountable for things they did years, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago in their lives.
Right.
I mean, people make mistakes. That used to be an understood given in this country.
Right.
In addition, you can't even say it's a mistake when culture and everybody thought it was right then. And
right.
That's another problem I have with it. Not saying it's right, not justifying.
No.
We have a better understanding today.
Right.
We have a different understanding but you can't go back 50 years into the past or 20 years, 30 years, and hold somebody accountable and say and live their life now and their future now for that.
Yeah, because I think the problem is proving it. I mean, I'm quite torn on this, and a lot of people have actually said that, you know, a part of this is the fact that she that she obviously made from it. You know, she obviously made money from it and never said anything at the time. But I mean, as a 15-year-old girl, it kind of wonders. It kind of makes me wonder who was around her supporting her.
See, here's the thing. The media, and this is something that not so many people know, and probably your listeners do, the mainstream media is owned by just basically 3 large corporations.
Right, of course.
Okay? They all stock at each other. These are not independent media anymore. Have you noticed that when you see one story trending, all of a sudden 50 billion stories follow that? That's how the whole police brutality thing came into line. That's how Me Too came about. They pick one thing and they focus on it, and then they dig nationwide for all similar stories to make it a trend and to put it in your conscience, and they set the agenda of the nation.
Right, absolutely. I mean,
they put it in people's heads.
It's kind of a worry, but it's interesting people are just kind of coming out about it now. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Now that's not to demean, you know, Me Too and sexual abuse in any way, or sexual harassment. That's not justified. That's never been justified. I wish we would talk about the flip side of these issues. You know, there are men that are sexually abused.
Yeah,
sexually
of
harassed
course.
by female bosses.
Yeah,
we don't talk about that. You know,
no.
You wouldn't see in the news, you know, about a lot of these things in reverse. They just don't make the news because they're not good storylines.
Absolutely. And the other thing, you know, as far as this for me is that it kind of doesn't fit their narrative. But is this what she's making? Is this what Rose McGowan is making a career on now? Because no one's going to employ her again, you know, after this, you know, string of allegations about sexual abuse. But we all know the casting couch goes on in Hollywood, but it seems to have been politicized somewhat. I mean, I'm sure it goes on everywhere. Not that it makes it right.
I mean, politics is always going to be politics. And, you know, I want to be careful with this, but some people choose to put things forward out there, and I'm trying to find the right words, not to seem insensitive.
Right.
Some people just deal with things, and they move on, and they have very successful careers. It doesn't make what happened to people right, but some people do choose to deal with it by, okay, this is a part of life. Other people choose to put the sob story out. Woe is me, woe is me.
Right, absolutely.
And that's a personal choice.
It is.
And I think that we bear a responsibility for our choices in the end, what we choose to do.
We absolutely do.
We can move on and deal with things or not. You know, I mean, this is going to be an interesting you can see convention here with personal choices and who's speaking and who's not, you know?
Exactly. We got to leave it there, unfortunately, Tony, but tell people where they can find you. Apologies to everyone out there for the technical problems. I don't know what happened, but we will endeavor to get it sorted out for tomorrow. Tell people they can find you, Tony.
Well, you can find me running for the White House this election, because if Kanye West can do it, I can do it. That's for
Absolutely.
sure. Go to my campaign. No, kidding. You can find me at The Center on Facebook. The Center on Facebook.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Tony Lusacco. Make sure you go check out his page and see what's going on over there at The Center. Thank you so much, Tony. Have a great week and give our love to Kiko.
Okay, bye.
Thanks a lot, buddy. Take care. Bye-bye. Apologies for the technical issues. We will be sorted out tomorrow. Not your Phil the Gibster. You can catch me 5 nights a week, 5 Pacific, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, 1 in the UK, and 10 a.m. in Australia. Join us for more scintillating chat tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and stay safe out there. We'll go and see what's going on with the technology. I love you all. Bye-bye.
It has been good to me this time around. Things were bound to change when is now intact, and I can find no rest. This is love, yeah, love. Never known true love before. Seen so many counterfeits that left me on the floor. This is love, yeah, love. All will come to those who wait. Time it cannot know the bounds, and era don't dictate.
Click the bell button and subscribe to keep up with the Xander Gibb Show. Oh yes,